Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to another class for today. Right, so we've covered the major scales. We've covered your minor scales, natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor. You should all, by now, you should know how to build your scales. Okay, I hope so. We've already covered intervals. You've done your quizzes, so you now have an understanding of how intervals work on paper. Okay, so today we're going to talk about chords. Yeah, if you understand your scales, you understand your intervals, then chords shouldn't be a problem. Now, look at your screen. Okay, we have the C major scale. Again, I always go back to the C major scale because I call this scale the mother of all scales. Okay, you learn a lot from just from the C major scale. Now, revision sikit. A single note, is called a pitch. Especially, I call it a pitch and not note because if there's no clef assigned to that pitch, then it's called a pitch. But if you already put a clef to it, then like you put a treble clef ke, you put a bass clef ke, alto clef ke, tenor clef ke, then you can identify the pitch. It becomes a note. Yeah. Kalau ada two notes, if there are two notes, then it becomes an interval. Okay, interval is the what do you call this? Distance between two notes. Now, if you have more than two notes, then it becomes a chord, right? So the definition of a chord is basically when you have at least three, three or more notes that is arranged on top of each other in the intervals of a third. Okay, so three notes or more that is arranged on top of each other in the intervals of a third, then you get a chord. Okay, so we'll start with the three-note chord, which what we call we call it a triad. Okay, and again, look at the C major scale. Horizontally, okay, secara memanjang, okay, this is the C major scale. So these are the available notes in the C major scale. So how do we identify the chords in the C major scale? Where do we get the chords from? So we build vertically. Kita bina ke atas. Yeah. So when we build vertically on top of each one of the notes in the scale, we build vertically, then we'll get chords. Yeah. Let's look at this. Yeah. Now, say for example, this is C, and then we build vertically on top. So three note, okay? So you have the bottom note, okay? These bottom notes, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. These are the roots, okay? These are the root or the first, okay? Root or first note. So when we are building chords, you need the root, you need the third, you need the fifth. This is the basic triad: root, third, and fifth. Okay. So root is C, third is E, fifth is G. Okay, D, this is the root or the first note, the third, the fifth. Root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth, root, third and fifth, root, third and fifth, root, third and fifth. Okay, and you get triads. Okay, so chords pun macam scale juga. You'll be able to identify whether the chord is major atau minor. Okay, so how do you identify whether it's major or minor chord? The third. In major scale ke minor scale, the third will tell you whether this scale is a major or a minor scale. Right? It's whether it's a minor third or a major third. So, sama juga dengan chords, the third of the chord will tell you whether the chord is a major chord atau minor chord. Let's look at this. So, C, E, and G. So, C is the root, E is the third, the fifth is the G. Okay, so C and E, okay, that's an interval of a major third. So, C and G, that's a perfect fifth, no problem. So, this is your C chord. Okay, D, F, and A. D and F is a minor third. D and A, perfect fifth. So this is a D minor chord. Okay, so it's either D minor chord or a D minor triad. Okay, D minor chord lah. And then you have the E this the E minor chord, because E and G is a minor third, E and B perfect fifth, so no problem there. E minor. F, A and C, F and A is a major third, F and C is a perfect fifth, so F chord. G, B and D, G and B is a major third, G and D is a perfect fifth, so G chord. And then A minor, A and C is a minor third, A and E is perfect fifth, so no problem there. So this is interesting. So you have B and D, which is a minor. B and F is not a perfect fifth. B and F is a diminished fifth. B and F sharp would be a perfect fifth, but now it's an F natural. So B and F is a diminished. You have a B and D minor, B and F is a diminished, so this is what you call a diminished triad. So a diminished triad is one minor third and a flat five, or diminished fifth. So one minor third, diminished fifth. That becomes a diminished chord, or diminished triad. B diminished. Or that's the symbol, a small o. Okay, and it goes back to C, which is the same as 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. This is the same, it's just a repeat of the C triad, an octave higher. Okay, so I'll put that aside. Okay, so these are the chords that are available in the key of C. To be more specific, these are the triads, okay, that are available in the key of C. Is it the end? Not yet. In modern harmony, we add another note on top of the fifth, which is the seventh. We have the seventh chord. So these are your jazz sounding chords. Okay, so let's put another third on top of each one of these triads. Yeah, so on top of the G, we put another third, B, another third there, 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 and another third there. Now these are the seventh chords. We call it the seventh chords. Yeah, so does it change? Yeah, because it started with the triad. We've added another note, which is the seventh. Yeah, so let's analyze them. So C, you have a C triad with a B on top. So the B is a major 7. So this is C major 7 chord. Okay, D minor triad with a C note on top. So D and C is a minor 7. Right? E and D, that's a minor 7. So E minor 7. F and E, that's a major 7. Okay. G, this is the one interesting. Some students say it's a major with a minor 7. It's a major minor 7 chord. This is what we call a G dominant 7 or a G7 chord. The full name is a dominant 7 chord. Okay. Always remember the fifth in the major scale is always what you call a dominant chord. Yeah. So G7, the symbol is a 7. Yeah. So this is a G dominant chord, right? Now A, C, E, if we've established this as A minor triad with a G on top, that's A and G is a minor 7. So we have a diminished triad here with the 7, with a flat 7 on top, or minor 7 on top. There are two names to this. Some people call it a half diminished chord, but in modern harmony, we be more specific. We spell it out. So we have a B minor 7 with a flat 5. So this is what we call a B minor 7 flat 5 chord, and goes back to 1, which is a C major 7. So that's it. These are the chords that are available in the key of C. So any song that you hear, any song that you listen to in a particular key, in major key, for example, in the key of C major, in the key of C major, for example, you will definitely hear these chords being played in that song. Okay? Will there be other chords? Yes, there will be other chords that suddenly muncul, tiba-tiba muncul. Kenapa tiba-tiba dalam key of C ada A7? Kenapa tiba-tiba in the key of C ada B7, for example? Or tiba-tiba ada D flat major 7, or tiba-tiba ada B flat 7 suddenly muncul dekat dalam tu. Oh, helicopter passing through. Anyway, going back to the chords, yeah. So yeah, as I said, there will be instances where suddenly chords yang tak ada dalam key of C, or tak ada dalam apa-apa key tu, okay, tiba-tiba dia muncul dekat dalam lagu tu, where does it come from? Or suddenly you're hearing C major 7 chord playing, tapi bila check balik, the root is not playing C, the root is playing something else apart from C. The root is not playing the root. The bass is not playing the root. Okay, the bass is playing something else. So what is that? So these are chords these are chords, these are notes that we will identify in a different topic. Yeah, so it's a different when you're borrowing chords from another a different key or a parallel key, that's a modal interchange. When you have chords that have different roots, then we're talking about slash chords. These are the things that we will cover soon. When suddenly you have other dominant 7 chords that suddenly appear in a key, that then we're probably talking about secondary dominance. Okay, we will cover that in future classes. Okay, for now, let's cover the basics first. So you know the triads now. You know where chords come from. You know how to build chords. You know where they come from, and you know how to analyze them. Oh, before I forget. So you've heard of the things like 1 major 7, 2 minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7. That is the chord analysis. Yeah. So chord analysis like this. Okay, looking back at the screen. Let me try to remember this. I always forget whether it's the. I know if you're reading scores, the chord symbol will be on top. But in theory, studying theory, I think the chord name should be down here. Okay, never mind. Okay, this is not apa, ini bukan undang-undang pun, kita buat dia. So so I'm transferring the chord names underneath. Okay, on top I'm going to put text here. So this is how we analyze. So this is 1 major 7. Yeah. 2 minor 7. Now you'll be telling me, but sir, if it's a 2 minor 7 chord, oh sorry about that. If it's a minor chord, and then it should be small I, right? It should be this, right? Okay. Well, in modern harmony, we simplify things. Okay, it's okay because we've already indicated a minor 7 chord. We already indicated a minor there, so it's okay to use a big I instead of a small I. You want to use it, it's fine. I'm not bothered about that. Okay, so yeah, let's do this again. Okay, so 3 minor 7. All right, and then you have 4 major 7. Okay, and then 5 7. I know I can just put a text here and then space, but kalau spacing dia lari kan, then everything lari, so that's why I'm doing separately. 6 minus 7. Oh my god. And then this is 7. What am I doing? Minus 7, flat 5, and then goes back to 1. So these are the chord analysis. Okay. In the key of C, or in any other major key. Okay. The 1 is always a major 7, 2 is always a minor 7, 3 minor 7, 4 major 7, 5 7, 6 minor 7, 7 minor 7, flat 5. In any major key, the analysis will be the same. Okay. So what happens if it's in a in a minor key? So we should know by now that in every major key there is a relative minor key. Yeah, and relative minor always refers to the natural minor key. Yeah. So in the key of C, for example, what is the relative minor? You find the relative minor by looking at the 6th degree of the major scale. The 6th degree of the major scale is the relative minor. So in the case of C major, so C, okay, looking at your screen, so C, D, E, F, G, A. A is the 6th here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the key or the scale of the A natural minor is the relative of the C major key, which means that all the notes in the in the scale of A natural minor are the same as in the key of C. That's what relative means. Yeah, the only difference is that A becomes the first note. A becomes the starting point. So we take the first note as A, and then we move forward. So A, B, C. Yeah. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's how it works. Yeah. So I'll take from the lower A here. Let's assume that this is, you don't have a clef. You don't have a clef there indicated in the screen, but let's just assume it's what you call this, treble clef. Yeah. So A, B, C, D. Yeah. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Yeah. As you can see, it shares the exact same notes as the key of C. So this is the A natural minor scale. So relative of the major scale is the 6th degree, yeah, which is the minor or the natural minor scale. Similarly, in chords, the chords will be the same. The only thing different is that the analysis or the chord analysis, that will be different. The chords, it still be A minor 7, B minor 7 flat 5, C major 7, D minor 7, but the placement of the chords now become different. In the key of C major, C is 1, but in the key of A minor, C is not 1, C is different. Let's look at it. So again, we'll build all the notes, yeah, we'll build all these notes in the key in this A natural minor scale. We build up vertically. Okay, kita bina ke atas to create the chords. Yeah, so A, okay. So now let's look at the chords. Yeah, so you have A minor 7, okay, and then B minor 7 flat 5, okay, and then you have C major 7, okay, and then you have D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G 7, and then goes back to A minor 7. Right, I'll bring this down. Okay, so let's analyze. So in the key of C major, the A is at 6 minor 7. Now the A, now in the key of A minor, okay, let's say now it's in the key of A minor, right? The A is no longer the 6, the A becomes the 1, right? So the analysis therefore is 1 minor 7. Okay, B minor 7 flat 5, oh sorry, I use a chord, let's use a text. So 1 minor 7, right? And then 2 minus 7 flat 5. Now, what is this? Is this a 3 minus 7 or not? Be careful. In the natural minor scale, what is the analysis of the third? The third is a flat 3 or a minor third. A minor third also means a flat 3. So the correct analysis is flat 3 major 7. Sorry again. It's supposed to be text. Ew. Flat 3 major 7. That's the correct analysis, yeah? Simply because A, B, and C, that distance, A to a C is a minor third or a flat 3 major 7. Okay, and then this is 4 minus 7. Sorry guys, I always keep on doing this. 4 minus 7 and then you have 5, 5 minus 7, small v, and then you have, careful again, right? So A and F, yeah. So in the scale, you have A, B, C, that was a flat third, okay, and then you have a fourth, and then you have a fifth. A and F, that's a flat 6, yeah. So flat 6, major 7, right? And then be careful again, A and a G, so that's a flat 7, dominant 7, okay, and then it goes back to 1 minor 7. Yeah. So this is how the chord analysis works in the key, in a minor key. Yeah. So in a minor key, it's always 1 minor 7, 2 minor 7 flat 5, flat 3 major 7, 4 minor 7, 5 minor 7, flat 6 major 7, flat 7 7, and then 1 7. Yeah. Flat 7 dominant 7 and 1 minor 7. Okay. So this is how it works. You must know, okay, every one of you must know the progressions or the chord analysis in the major key as well as the minor key. Okay. Now look at 5, the fifth degree in the minor key. It is 5 minor 7. Okay, but because of the function of the 5, it's always 5 always normally resolves to a 1. Okay, so what in modern harmony, they always substitute the 5 minus 7 to become a 5 dominant 7, because the characteristics of a dominant 7 is that it always wants to resolve to a 1. Okay, it's not wrong. There are songs which uses 5 minus 7 in a minor key. There are songs that uses a 5 minus 7 to 1. Many songs that uses 5 minus 7 to a 1. Yeah, but normally in major and minor key, okay, the 5 7, they change it to a 5 dominant 7 to a 1. That's not a problem. It's just giving you extra information there. Yeah, so even though the correct analysis here is 5 minus 7, and 5 minus 7 is used, 5 minus 7 to a 1 minus 7, but if you listen to a lot of music, yeah, a lot of pop music, commercial music, you always hear that even if it's in a minor key, 5 is always a 5 dominant 7 instead of a 5 minus 7. Okay, so the question that you asked me is that, then will there be analysis? Will there be the same analysis like this in every other scales? Yes, the answer is yes. So if you write this out, okay, if you do the same thing here in a harmonic minor key, in a harmonic minor scale, harmonic minor scale, a melodic minor scale, okay, and you harmonize the chords, then you will get chords. You harmonize the notes, then you will get chords, and you will get all these analyses. Can you do it with modes as well? Yes. If you write down a Dorian mode, for example, or a Locrian mode, for example, and you harmonize the chords, you harmonize the notes and make chords out of it, you get quite interesting chords that progressions and chords that happens from it. So these are the things that you should explore. I think in a jazz composition book I have, I forgot the name of the book. All the jazz compositions, they play around harmonies. They don't normal work with. They no longer work with normal major harmonies or the natural minor keys. They create music. They compose music based on harmonies that comes from modes. Yeah, they create music from Dorian modes, Phrygian modes, and they use the chords that comes from those keys or those modes to create music. And it's really interesting if you're really into those things. But basically, for a start, these are the things. These are the two keys, yeah, the major and the minor key, the chord analysis that you must be familiar with. Okay, so after this, when you transcribe or when you learn improvisation, for example, you will always hear 251, 251 major, 251 minor. So if I say 251 major, you know it's 2 minus 7, 5, 7, and 1. 251 minor is always 2 minus 7 flat 5, 5, 7 flat 9. Okay, we'll get to that later. So 2 minus 7 flat 5, 5, 7 flat 9, and a 1 minus 7. Yeah. If I say, if you hear things like, okay, let's play an intro, let's vamp 1625, 1625, or 1625, 3625, or whatever. Those are chord progressions, and they refer to these analysis. Okay, you should know that by now. When you transcribe your music later on, when you transcribe, when you start doing transcriptions, you will hear chords. These chords in the major key, you will hear these progressions. Yeah, 1 4 5 1 ke, 3 6 2 5 ke, all those kind of things. You will hear it. This is where they come from. Of course, as I told you before, there will be instances where the chords, they borrow from somewhere else, or they use a chord on top of a different root. Yeah, suddenly dominant chords appear in other dominant chords appear in that song that does not belong to that song. The 5/7 that comes from somewhere else. So those are dominant. Those are secondary dominant chords. Okay. We will cover those topics as we go along. But for now, these are the things that you must be familiar with, right? And for now, what you're learning is that you're learning that these chords are arranged root, third, fifth, and then seventh. Always 1, 3, 5, 7. Can it be rearranged? Yes. And that is where we talk about inversions. That one, next topic, next lecture. Right, guys, thank you very much, and stay safe.